Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another fashion edition. Today, I'm being brave. We are doing the Grammys, and I'm not very excited about it because the Grammys usually are a fashion vibe and styling vibe that's a lot more costumey, so I feel like it's hard to do fashion editions when there's lots of costumey looks, like at the Met Gala too, just because a lot of times styling or fashion commentary focuses on the garments themselves and the construction of the garments themselves and views them objectively through the lens of an art piece and fashion as an art form, which I love and respect, and I too can look at a piece in that light. But for fashion editions on my channel, I try to aim towards more styling philosophy of how it looks on the wearer and what is it doing or not doing for the wearer, because that I find to be a more practical way of learning about fashion and styling for our own wardrobes, is to start to see how color, lines, fabric, and proportions and volume and all of those things can affect how the wearer looks, either better or worse, because of those styling elements or fashion elements. And so that's always been my goal with fashion editions, is to root it in what is this doing for the wearer and how is it complementing them, or what's going wrong here? Why does it look awkward? Because then I think as we learn more of that, even though it's like red carpet pieces that are not necessarily relatable to our everyday dress, our everyday outfits, it's still something that we can start to train our eye to recognize the lines, the proportions, the weight of the item, all of those elements to a piece and an outfit that affect how it complements us. And as we develop the ability to recognize those things in, red carpet photographs or celebrity photographs or whatever it is, then we can start to recognize it in our own wardrobes, even though it's a difference between like evening gowns and everyday outfits. So that's kind of the perspective that I go for with fashion editions. And so I always find the Grammys and the Met Gala to be more difficult, because when a piece is super costumey, it's so far past making the wearer look pretty. It's not about that. Their goal in wearing a really costumey piece is to showcase the fashion as a piece of art and to be part of that art themselves. And that's why the Grammys and the Met Gala are so that way, because it is more about sending a look. Like Lady Gaga is a perfect example. She always does really costumey looks in these sorts of situations because she is selling her current era of Lady Gaga brand, and the Grammys, of course, would be a venue to showcase that. So it makes sense. I'm not saying these things don't make sense for the celebrities attending. It's just that for a fashion edition, then sometimes it's like, this is just, there's not much to say besides ew or too much. But we're going to try anyway, because you guys have been asking. And we're going to start just ripping off the Band-Aid with Chappell Roan's sort of shock value dress here. I don't think you can even call this a dress. I don't love this, not just because it's purely calling on shock value for its appeal, but rather that it doesn't look flattering. Not only does it look uncomfortable, it looks not flattering to her. There's just a lot of visual weight happening from the lower belly through to the upper thigh because of the way the fabric's laying. It's not laying all smooth and ethereal like. It's kind of bunching and folding up. And overall, it just looks unfinished to me. It looks silly. Wearing things that are just for the purpose of shock value, I find very passé and kind of shallow. I just am not a big fan. And I don't think it really flatters her either in any way. So let's quickly move on to Teyana Taylor's dress here. This is fitting her so well. She is definitely an hourglass figure. She has great abs here, so I can see why she wanted to showcase them. It's a very daring piece, but as you can see, it's fitting her very well. And her styling, being very sleek and simple, is masterful. for this particular piece. She wears clothes well, even when they are skimpy or edgy or, showing a lot of skin. She tends to still get a really nice finish with them. And that's in part because she is tall, so she has a great body type and structure to wear clothes well. She can handle them, her figure can. But also she obviously puts a lot of care into making sure these garments are not going to bunch up and move around in any way that they're not supposed to. So I appreciate that about this. Lady Gaga's wearing a very dramatic, very costumey look that looks like a lot of feathers. I think it's on brand for what she's doing right now. I think it's all right. It's not overwhelming her, surprisingly, with how short she is. I mean, she's not like the shortest, but she's pretty short, isn't she? It still reins in nicely at her waistline and is nice and snug until it gets to that flare at the bottom. So it's not eating up her figure overall. She still looks balanced in it. So that's challenging for something like this on a shorter figure. Sabrina Carpenter is probably my favorite best dressed of the night because I just love this. The dainty caplet sleeve, the little mini cape situation is so pretty and girly. I love that. The ruffles are beautiful and add some volume and a focal point without overwhelming and throwing her off balance. She's a little bit more pear-shaped, so this created really nice balance for her figure overall. I also like the styling that she went with. I think this is really flattering. I don't really like Addison Rae's. I feel like this is a little bit of an awkward proportion here. And then paired up with the deep cutout down the front, it's looking a little ill-fitting too. So I don't love it. I think it would have been more successful with an updo for sure. Olivia Dean's dress is very, very pretty. I quite like this. It's very high contrast, but all that texture and interest is placed so perfectly because it doesn't eat up her waistline and have the skirt start too high. This is great balance. Very, very nice. Pink Pantheress's dress is confusing to me. The shape of it and the way it fits her is really nice, but it looks like a bunch of scraps of fabric and rags stuck together that I don't care for that element of it. If this were just in like a solid color or like hues of the same color, like various shades of blush or this rust orange, in different shades, I think it would look really beautiful and be a lot more impactful than this. This just looks kind of dirty and dingy paired up with a really nice silhouette for her. Like this shape of neckline is fitting her really nicely. It fits her waist perfectly, There's so much going for it if you can look past the bad color scheme that looks like dirty rags. Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber here. It's an absolute no for me. This oversized suit on Justin looks like he stole his dad's outfit, and I don't like that type of look. I just think it looks kind of silly and frumpy on a man, but that's weird to say a man looks frumpy here, but it does. It's just not appealing. It looks lame. Miley Cyrus, I'm a little disappointed in this one too. It's just so busy and messy and frumpy. I don't love it. There's too much going on here. Very costumey. Rosé's dress is a little better, but only marginally so. These big, huge, voluminous side trains, I guess you could say, are something a lot of fashion houses are experimenting with right now, Dior included. I don't love them. I think this is okay. Rosé is pretty tall, so she's pulling it off okay, but I really don't like them. I feel like they just look like a duvet or a blanket, and then the ruffling in the lower abdomen here isn't very flattering either, especially with its sort of downturned shape is a little droopy. So I don't like that one either very much. Kelsey Ballerini's dress is pretty. It's fitting her nicely. She was smart to go with minimalistic styling because the dress is so busy. It's not my favorite because it's so incredibly busy and there's like shades of green coming through that almost look unintentional, but it's better than the rest that we've seen so far. Well, it's not better than all of the rest that we've seen, but it's better than some of them. Chrissy Teigen's dress is quite nice. It looks a little ill-fitting in the bust. You can see it's pulling away quite a bit. But overall, I think this is quite pretty. It doesn't have that shock value element to it that a lot of the dresses have had, or that some of Chrissy's previous choices have had. I think this color is just beautiful on her. Look at how it matches her lip shade here. Just gorgeous. The ombre effect is nice. And the silhouette of the dress is fine. So I think overall that's all right. But John Legend's flare trousers have got to go. Michelle Williams' dress is very beautiful. Wow, I quite like this. It's a very classic styling approach here. She looks really beautiful. I love how the train is incorporated into this dress. The only thing is it looks like it might be a little bit of a sheer dress, which I don't prefer. But overall, this is one of the most beautiful ones we've seen so far from the Grammys. In a sheer nude mess, we have Coco Jones. I appreciate that everything matches. The shoes match perfectly. That's nice. It feels like a mini dress that then people just started sticking stuff on top of and got a little carried away. It doesn't really make sense to me. I do not like how there is a layer of a tulle skirt with this ruffling underneath it. I get what they're going for, but I just don't care for this. It looks like somebody just went to town on a dress in like a home ec project. Halle Bailey's attempt here also doesn't feel super successful. The cups of this strapless sweetheart dress are too small for her. She's bustier. She needs these up higher. It looks like she's falling out of the dress, and it awkwardly creates this situation where it looks like it doesn't fit her well. She needed a necklace or something to kind of break up this décolleté, and this banding across the dress end up making it look like it's bunching and not fitting very nicely rather than just creating a style element. I think this would have been more successful if those were not there or if they went in a different sort of a pattern. I think it's a good concept and a good match for her, just doesn't fit her perfectly. I think if it fit better along the bust line, those bands across the knee and hem and hip wouldn't be as bad. But because the bust line is too short and it's not coming up high enough and it looks like it's falling down because it's too small, it gives the impression that the rest of it's ill-fitting too. You know what I mean? It cascades down. I do like her hair and makeup though, and her jewelry choice. The earrings are nice. She just needed a necklace. Paris Hilton's dress is really, really beautiful. I love this. The neck element, the like choker element, helps to balance the really, really broad, wide neckline of this that's like off the shoulder, like an extreme scoop neck. This collar really, really helps to balance that out and not make it look too big and overwhelming. The dress itself is absolutely beautiful. The placement of all the embellishments are flattering to her. The only thing is it looks like it might be a little bit of a sheer dress, but I can't quite tell. If it is, we don't love that part. But the rest I really like. I like the opera gloves and the styling is nice. I think overall this is one of the best of the evening. I think, though, my absolute favorite is Sabrina Carpenter, with Olivia Dean in a close second. And then Paris Hilton third. Is probably what I would say. But what do you guys think? What was your favorite of the Grammys? And what look did I miss that you wished I would have covered? Maybe I'll throw it into a future episode. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a happy day ahead. And I will see you next time. Bye.